Day for Night in Ultapur by Jayanth Kodkani. In this chapter, we shall read a very interesting story about a place named Ultapur. The people residing in this place did not want to follow the rules of Mother Nature. Let's read and find the difficulties they faced as a result of this. Long ago, in faraway Ultapur, ruled by Badshah Batata, everything was topsy-turvy. The people woke up at sunset and went to bed at sunrise. We learned that this place named Ultapur was ruled by a king named Badshah Batata. The place was different because everything here was opposite of how things should be. Following the rules of nature, we wake up at sunrise and working for all the day, we go to bed at sunset. But the people living here wakes up at sunset and goes to bed in the morning. This day for night happened suddenly. One day, the Badshah asked his ministers, "Aren't we all tired of living like everyone else? Every morning we wake up and get to work. Every evening we return, have dinner and go to bed. We must do things differently. So, how come the people live differently in this place?" This so happened because of the king Badshah Batata, who asked his ministers to follow a new law where they would wake up at night and go to sleep in the morning. Let's see what the ministers decide. The ministers thought hard. "We have an excellent idea," they said. "We are bored because we follow the laws of nature. The fault lies with the sun and the moon. When the sun is up, we get up. And when it sets, we prepare to sleep. Let's stop obeying the sun and the moon." So thinking for a while, the ministers agreed to the king and praised him for this excellent idea. And thus said that they too are bored following the same rules of nature since years. Everyone was of the opinion that they should stop obeying the sun and the moon. The Badshah was pleased with the idea. "From tomorrow, everyone will wake up at sunset and go to bed at sunrise," he said. "Everyone should obey this. If they don't, they will be put in prison." In this paragraph, we see that Badshah Batata was happy with this idea. He ordered that from next day, all of them must wake up at sunset and go to bed in the morning. And the ones not following this order will be punished and put into prison. The people of Ultapur could not believe this, but they had to obey the Badshah. And so, Ultapur changed. Everyone woke at 6 in the evening and left for work as it grew dark. The markets opened at night. Children went to school at night. At dawn, everyone went to sleep. Now we see a different Ultapur. People were not happy with the king's decision, but they were bound to obey. Everyone had to wake up at 6 in the evening and go for work. The markets opened and the children too went to school at night. It was not an easy way to do things. The birds were surprised and began to chirp and fly around. Horses and goats could not sleep and were very tired every night. Travelers stopped coming to Ultapur. They called it a ghost town. Soon many people came to complain to the Badshah. Doing things differently was not easy for them. The animals and birds were surprised. They did not get proper sleep and thus were very tired when it was time for them to get up. Outsiders and travelers stopped entering the place and named it as a ghost town. Thus, people started complaining the matter to the king. "The rooster crows early in the morning when I am off to bed and spoils my sleep," said one of them. "My donkey won't stop braying," said the clothes washer. But the Badshah wanted them to try the plan a little longer. So one of them complained that he was unable to sleep because as soon as he goes to bed in the morning, the rooster cows and disturbs his sleep. The washerman too was disturbed by the donkey braying at the time of his sleep. But unfortunately, there was no positive reply from the Badshah as he wanted them to follow the same rule for some more time. Then something surprising happened. There was a total solar eclipse. A solar eclipse is when the moon passes in front of the sun and casts a dark shadow on Earth. Then one day there was a complete solar eclipse. So what happens in a solar eclipse? In a solar eclipse, the moon comes in front of the sun and as a result casts a dark shadow on the earth. Let's see how it affects the life of the people living in Ultapur. It was 3 in the afternoon, a time when the sun shone bright most days. Suddenly, a shadow fell over the town and it became dark. Owls woke up and filled the air with hoots. Dogs howled, cows mooed, and babies cried. For about 5 minutes, it looked as if night had made an extra visit to the earth. So at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, there was complete darkness because of this eclipse, as the light of the sun was unable to reach the earth. For some time, no one could make out whether it was daytime or night for them. The animals too were confused and thus there was chaos everywhere. The people of Ultapur were puzzled. They rubbed their eyes and woke up and did their work as usual. But within minutes, it was day again. The sun came up and the roosters began to crow. The people could not make out what was happening there. They woke up and went back to their work. But they noticed that it was day again because the sun rose and the roosters started to crow. How could it be day again so soon, thought the people of Ultapur. What should they do now? In about 3 hours, it would be dark again. Should they sleep or stay awake? Let's ask the Badshah, said someone, and they all went to see him. The people were confused. They thought, how come so soon it is day again? And thus, they were unable to make out what should they do now, whether they should sleep or remain awake. Then someone suggested that they should ask the Badshah regarding this, and thus all of them went to meet him. The minister said, nature has fooled us today, but we should not give in. Let's do the opposite. The next time the rooster crows, let's wake up and go about our work. Now the ministers realized that their decision of not following the laws of nature did not bring them good result, and they felt like nature has made them a fool. But they decided not to give in, and they shall wake up when the rooster crows and go back to their works. The people of Ultapur were very happy to hear this. Badshah Batata was also secretly pleased. So, from then on, Ultapur woke up at sunrise and went to bed at sunset, like most people in the world. On hearing this good news, the people of Ultapur were very happy, as from that day onwards they would wake up at sunrise and go to bed after sunset like all other people in the world. The king Badshah Batata was also very pleased with it. So in this chapter we learned how disobeying the laws of Mother Nature can harm us and create chaos in our lives. On the other hand, following it always brings good result, and thus we can live our life peacefully.